If you want to know how to build wealth and financial independence as an everyday person, you can 100% do it, and it's based on a book called A Millionaire Next Door. And the author of this book actually studied hundreds of millionaires in the 1980s and 90s, and they basically put together a recipe how these self-made millionaires made their wealth as everyday people who work in everyday jobs. And how do they do it? You can 100% do the same thing. The first thing you need to understand from the book is the difference between wealth and income. A lot of high income earners are actually not wealthy even though they have a high income, because they simply overspend. As the income increases, their spending increases, and they actually don't have that much money and they don't have wealth. The second thing they found when they studied self-made millionaires is that these people live below their means. They don't spend money on flashy things like designer clothes, expensive coffees, expensive vacations, and things like that, but they actually live below their means, which allows them to save a lot of money and also invest it. But the take-home message is they don't spend things on status symbol like expensive cars, purses, clothes, vacations, things like that, and houses, and all those kind of things. And they actually let success speak for themselves, and they simply save their money and live way below their means. And the third thing is they all do very good planning and budgeting. And if they don't know how to do it, then they hire help. But basically, they figure out how much money they're making and they come up with a budget that still allows them to save and invest. And they stick to that budget. That's the other thing. They don't have this impulsive buy when they see something and then you just have to have it. This is why it's a very good rule. For example, if you see something that seems like a good deal, or you really, really want it, to at least sleep on it for 48 to 72 hours or a couple days. Give it a couple days, because a few days later, that may not look as appealing as it looks right at that moment. But nevertheless, all these people who are self-made millionaires stick to their budget and they stick to their financial plans. The fourth thing is that all self-made millionaires actually like to spend time making themselves better. They read books about how to invest, how to save money, also how to build success, and just how to better yourself. And they spend a lot of their energy and time basically improving themselves. And the other thing they're really good at is actually saying no things that they don't want to do, because that eats up their time that they can spend on themselves and the people they really care about, so they don't get sucked into, events and things like that that they actually don't want to do, and they don't get anything out of it, and they just will be doing it just to be nice, and they say no to all those things. The fifth point is my favorite, and I talk about this all the time. If you want to be a self-made millionaire and you want to build wealth and financial independence, you have to be self-employed and you have to be an entrepreneur and build some kind of business on your own that has some kind of a passive cash flow or a strong cash flow. And this is really, really important, because as long as you work for somebody, all you're doing is just trading your time and your effort for money, and that's the lowest form of making money. The best way to make money is actually have some kind of a passive income, like develop a product like a course or a book, or sell products or something that you can actually still sell while you're sleeping and make money while you're sleeping, because Warren Buffett said, until you figure out how to make money while you're sleeping, you will work until the day you die. And the sixth point is just basically what we talked about, is working on yourself, educating yourself about, how to be financially independent, taking courses, networking with people, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can learn from other people how they did it and just copy what they did. It's that easy, really. You don't have to come up with all this stuff on your own. You can read books, you can take courses, you can network with people who are actually self-made millionaires as well as financially independent, and just learn from them and just copy all their good habits. The seventh point is that they avoid inflation, and what a lot of people actually do, they increase their spending as their income increases, and self-made millionaires actually do not do that. As the more money they make, they don't increase their spending, and this is the trap of the working class as well as the middle class. Middle class people and working class people, they keep increasing their spending the more money they make. Don't fall into that trap. That's actually lifestyle inflation. So what self-made millionaires, financial independent people do, they cap their spending and they keep it there. The more money they make, the more money they will have. The other thing that self-made millionaires do is they actually provide the same education for the kids, so they can have kind of like a lifetime wealth that they build for their families, so the kids will be better off than they were. But they also teach their kids the same habits that made them a self-made millionaire and financial independence, so it becomes like a family trend that this is how we live and this is the wealth that we have. And really, the take-home message is that a lot of millionaires that this book studied are actually self-made millionaires. They didn't inherit it, which is actually a great news for you, because you can do the same thing with just by having a regular everyday job. And what you need to do is you need to be a disciplined saver. You also need to invest your money. You can't just save your money, because inflation is going to chomp away at your money and you're going to have less every year. So it's very important that you invest your money into something like an S&P 500 ETF or something that tracks the S&P 500, so the money actually grows over time. And the other thing you want to do is you really want to avoid consumer debt, especially like, for example, department store credit cards, cars, things like that, things that you finance. All this just eats away your wealth. And really what I love about this message and this book is that it kind of teaches everybody that anybody can do this. You could be just simply a worker class worker and actually follow the same thing, and you can actually do really, really well. And a lot of people have done this. You could be a middle class, everyday person with everyday education, with everyday job, and you can 100% be a self-made millionaire as well as build wealth and financial independence. Just follow these lessons from this book, because this is actually real stories of people who actually have done it. And I believe in you. You can 100% do it too. So make sure you follow the steps on this book, as well as read the examples and read the takeaway messages, and then stick to it. And let me know in the comments if you find this, motivating, and if you're going to start on this journey, and let me know how it works for you.